We roll.
All right, so here we are. We at the next statue, and this one right here, as you can see, is dealing with the one who they call President George Washington, which he's supposed to be the first president of the United States of America. And as you can see, when you get up close on his garments, you see that his garments are Freemasonry garments. So that right there goes to show you that this place is established and built up upon witchcraft, you know, in sorcery. We just spoke over there at the Christopher Columbus statue, and the Christopher Columbus, I think I mentioned that the brother mentioned that this was a place where a bunch of Native Americans inhabited. And what they did was they slaughtered a bunch of Native Americans, and what they would do, they would keep our bones because they believed that it brought them some kind of spiritual power. And one of the Freemason lodges that they had renovated here, they found bones inside the walls. And one of the guys that renovated the building, he showed me a picture. I said, "What you gonna do with the bone?" He said, "I'm gonna take it home," which was completely wicked. But they, the Freemasons, they deal with sorcery, they deal with magic, they deal with witchcraft. And
like the brother mentioned, he has right there, he has you can zoom in on that apron garb, the bottom part, he has the pyramid going back to Egypt, all right? Then he has what that symbolizes our bondage, the bondage of Israel. Then he has the two flags,
which are spears. Yeah. Because if you look at the tip of them, it's a spear.
Yeah. Yep. And then we have what? We have the all-seeing, the sun, the sun worship. You know what I'm saying? Then we have the compass over top of that. You know what I'm saying? Starting to draw a segment of a circle, meaning they're in progress. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
and then you got the pedestal, right. You know, which I'm not for sure what kind of book that is at the top, but you see the mallet. And when you read the scriptures, it says that that earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and he covered the faces of the judges thereof. You know, if not, where and who is he? So as you can see, he has the mallet. He covered up the judges, and he's now portraying himself to be the true judges of the world. That's the reason why they're known as the Illuminati. You know, because they're judges.
That's right.
But they're judges they judge for wickedness. Everything that they judge is an unrighteous and immoral judgment. So
we're gonna move on around to right here. Insert right here inscribed on the stone. And the brother's gonna bring out the scripture as well.
Okay. But to speak more about the Freemasonry in America is built up upon witchcraft. You know, and all it's about is witchcraft. You know, that's how the elites try to maintain their power. They try to deal with the spiritual demon Satan and all other different kind of demons. They try to invoke them to try to get some form of power. In the water, for that sun, because it looked like it was about to rain for me. Hey, this is Nahum 3 and 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. So this place, America, which is known in the book of Revelations, the 17th chapter, I believe that's 15 and 16. It talks about, or just the 17th chapter period. It talks about the great harlot that sitteth upon many waters. This is that great harlot, and this is that sell nations through her witchcraft. So, as you can see, he had on the Freemason garments, and Freemasons are well-known witchcrafts, witches, sorcerers, and necromancers. Yep. They deal with spiritual magic on the left hand and wicked side.
Yeah, and if I might paint out, could you put on that right there? You see, it says Mariners Church of Detroit, and the brother just mentioned Revelations, the whore that sitteth upon many waters. This church was built for the mariners to stay in high hopes and high spirits while they conquering, you know. And so right now we're gonna get into this here.
Salaki, which brings me to another scripture to mind. In the book of Psalms, the 50th chapter, it says, "What mean ye heathens to take up my word in thy mouth, seeing that thou hatest my statutes?" So the so-called white man, that goes back into him trying to bring that peace, because he came with the scriptures when he established America, he tried to bring Christianity when he established America, he tried to bring Christianity to the Latinos and Native Americans that were here. So that represents him trying to bring peace here through the Bible. But really, there was war and evil in his heart. Hence the massacres that he did to our people.
Go ahead and read that.
Let's go ahead. This says George Washington, the father of his country, first president of the United States, 1789 to 1797. He says, first in war, first in peace. These brothers just brought that out. First in the hearts of his countrymen.
Right.
Resolution of Congress, December 1799.
Which I want to point out about this, because the so-called white man was the first in war. When he was in the world as a king, you know, he was the first one to murder somebody. So the curse that came upon him was that he was stripped of his melanin. You know, he was stripped of his melanin and he became leprous. He became as white. You know, which basically his blood just showed forth through his skin. So he was first in war, and it says first in peace. The so-called white man thinks that he can establish peace through war. You know. But basically, the king came back as Esau, and what was Esau's blessing? The Lord said Esau was blessed in Genesis, the 27th chapter, was at verse 30. It says that he was blessed with the sword. And the scriptures say that, the scriptures say that he bare not the sword in vain. We at camp earlier we brought up the scripture in Revelations, the 6th chapter, that says that the red horse. It talked about the red horse, and it says that it was giving him power to take peace away from the earth. So this right here is deceitful, where it says first in peace, because really he doesn't come to establish peace. He just comes to bring war.
You know what verse
and
it
desolation.
For Genesis?
In Genesis 27 and 30.
Yeah, it should be like 39, 40, starting around
39,
38, something like that. It says, and Esau asked for the blessing. Should be around like 38, 39, something like that.
Yeah, that right there, 38, 39.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
And here it is. It's obvious that his yoke is broken from upon his neck. And what happened was he began to put that yoke upon our neck. And he put us in slavery, beginning with the Native Americans all the way down to the Negroes. You know, and not just the Native Americans, the Latin tribes as well. He put us all in slavery. And I just spoke about him having the mallet in his hand, and basically what that represents is him being the judge now. You know, and him having the power now. You know, he sits in the judgment seat right now. But basically, can you grab our Psalm 17 and 13?
This is Psalm 55 and 21, brother. I said it, but I'll read out. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. So that's when you got your words smoother than butter. That's peace. You know, you're trying to be peaceful with somebody and everything. It says, but war was in his heart. He's always about war. Esau has always got his mind on war, what he can do and who he can conquer, what he can take from him. His words are softer than oil, meaning he's all about telling you peace, or bringing a deceptive way of getting into your land or anything to make sure that he can come in and draw your attention to him, so you won't pay attention to what his real intentions is.
Yeah, you want to be the first in the hearts of
the first of the hearts in his country.
By what? Through war. Establishing peace. Yeah. And then he can have that facade of being an angel of righteousness. You know, like he brought peace. You know.
He said, and his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So he really was of war. So every time that you see the so-called white man come into your country, or we want to come see, or if you got plutonium in there. But what they're actually looking for is ways to take your to destroy you, to see what you got. How can I load up, or how can I send troops in here? I'm surveying everything. He already mapping you out.
Right here. Right here. Yes. Right here. This is talking about the topographical engineers. Now, these are people that had to go in to survey the land. And here it says they also played a vital role in Great Lakes navigation before the Civil War. First appointed in 1813, the engineers surveyed the land, canals, railroads, and the harbors, and platted military positions relative to roads, villages, rivers, and ravines. They also constructed ravines. They also constructed lighthouses during the 1820s and the 1830s, you know. And that's basically how they had to set it up, you know.
Malak, you got it.
That's what.
Hey, grab the back. Grab the back.
Oh, the back.
And then we come back. Let's speed this one up so we keep the battery power going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
But look, we got a little.
Oh, damn.
Look, it says George Washington, 1732, 1799, presented to the city of Detroit by the Grand Lodge, free and accepted Masons of Michigan's May 21st, 1966, in commemoration of the 10 centuries of Freemasonry. So there you go. You see that when the so-called white man came to America, he also brought, not only did he bring the sword, but he also brought witchcraft. He also brought magic. You know, because like we said earlier, the Freemasons dab in magic. This is Isaiah 47:10. It says, "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and thou hast said, none seeth me." You know, when he's doing all his different seances and over in the Bohemian Grove and all of the different groves and places around the world, when he's doing all of his wickedness, when he's doing his enchantments and having his witches, like it says in the book of Revelations, I believe that's the 12th chapter, when he does all of that to accuse our brethren, you know, he says that none seeth me. It says, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it have perverted thee. Because he trusts in witchcraft. He trusts in the sword. But what that did was that perverted him. It says, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth.
Right, because what? He come in peace. So you don't know, like this guy, he came in peace. So how all this shit happening to us? So, you know, like you said, we saying the missiles, the plutonium, they take it, they surveying, they watching. Esau's always, they got cameras everywhere. And everybody trusting this goddamn devil, man. Even though they know he's a goddamn crook. He's a crook and he's a motherfucking a devil and a Satanist. They trusting him. So while you're not looking for him, you're not paying attention to what's really going on with this nigga, man. This devil is always plotting against you, but he's doing it in a deceptive way as he's your friend.
Yeah,
you know,
and
he's always sitting there for enchantments against you.
Yep. He's always trying to enchant and find some ways to put demons on you. You know.
Yeah. This is John chapter 10 verse 10, and we didn't bring this out, right? It says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy, you know. And that's pretty much why they was setting up all of those, setting up the mariners, you know, those the Navy, the seamen, you know. That's basically what they were doing, establishing their wicked system, you know, and expanding, you know.
Come on, you got
it says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off.
Right.
And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth.
Right.
If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. And when the Lord comes, they're gonna try to fight against the Lord with witchcraft, man. But it ain't gonna work. They got laser beams and stuff like that. You know, they're gonna be cutting themselves. They're gonna be welling. Just how them prophets were welling during the time when Elijah was mocking them. You know, but they're deceived because right now Satan is working with them, but he's actually deceiving them. The so-called white man is a Satanist. He's worshiping all of these demons, and he's thinking that they're helping them out, but really they're deceiving them.
Right. The one thing they don't realize, we go around here. The one thing they don't realize is that prophecy never fails, bro. And that's what's happening. America is going down because of the prophecy that the Most High has already predicted. I mean, has already set forth, and it's going to happen. And why they think they can save or put the QE3, try to raise the debt ceiling and everything, is still prophecy that's knocking their ass to the dirt. And look, this is the last part. It says of all. See, this all is like in one sentence. It says, and of all dispositions and habits which lead to political prosperity, religion, and morality, and dispensation is indispensable supports. This is why this is farewell address. That's why this address.
Kind.
Yeah.
And what I want to point out is the word dispositions, right? When you look up the word dispositions in the Google, it says a person inherit qualities of mind and character. But when you go into the quality and the mindset of the so-called white man, it's nothing good about it. That's the reason why the book of Hebrews says, unless there be a profane person as Esau, who sold his birthright for a pot of uncooked meat. You know, which the Bible and the Lord called Salaki. The Lord called Esau a profane person. So there's nothing moral about him. You know.
Right. And he's in the religion, which would mean, go back to the Latin word religio, which means to hold back and restrain. So they was always into holding back everybody.
You was gonna grab Psalms?
Kind of. I got it right here.
And also the brother, can you grab Psalm 17 and 13 first? Because he doesn't come with a good disposition. You know, he don't come with a disposition of peace. You know, because he care about people. There's nothing moral about him. What he does is he come with the sword. He come with the sword to kill, and that's what his blessing was. But hell, that is moral to the so-called white man.
That's his morality.
Hey, and in his mind, he's convinced that the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are savages anyway. So what we're doing is we're coming to bring them diplomacy. We're coming to civilize them. You know, but we're gonna kill off the majority of them. We're gonna enslave the rest of them. And part of us enslaving them is just making them civil. Go ahead.
Psalm 17, verse 13. Arise, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. From men which are thy hand, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, from men of the world, which have their portion of this in this life, and whose bellies thou fillest with thy hid treasures. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. Did you want me to say on
Did you read 17 and 13?
Yes.
All you had to do is read 17 and 13. That's it. Yeah. But read the other one that the brother called.
Okay, the 130. 133. Yeah, because that's the scripture that they have right here. You know, Esau always tries to, basically disguise himself. You know.
Okay.
So and the Freemasons, for them to dab inside of the Bible, a lot of the things that they try to cover up, for them to go inside of the Bible and to be the illuminated or the higher ups in the societies, to be the ones in the know, they know that the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the children of Israel, according to the Bible. Yep. So what they do is, in order to tell a lie, you got to know the truth.
That's right. Go ahead.
Psalms 133.
Hey, and this scripture ain't got nothing to do with the white man. Yeah, he put that shit up on there.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
So they saying that because all of the Freemasons are connected and they're together. That's the reason why when some let's say for instance if you're in a court and you see somebody that's a Freemason, right? The judges that are in the courtrooms and court systems are Freemasons also. A lot of the teachers, you know, a lot of the police officers. You know, they can throw up some kind of Illuminati or a Freemason hand signal, and that will get them off. So basically, they grabbing that scripture because it's saying that Freemasonry is a brotherhood. But really, we know that these scriptures are not for these witches. They're not for Esau. They're not for the other nations. That's the reason why the scripture says, "What mean ye heathens to take up my word in thy mouth, seeing that thou hate my statutes?" They don't love the word of the Lord. You know, so that scripture is actually talking about the children of Israel. Go ahead.
It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard
Of Aaron.
even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountain of Zion.
And right now, in this moment, you have Israel coming back together, you know? I just did a video on that earlier, you know, and it began with a man named Abba Bivens. You know, he came to turn the fathers back into the children, and the children back into the fathers. He's Elijah the prophet that was prophesied to come in these times. So the brothers are coming back together. They're beginning to dwell in unity. And once they dwell in unity and they're not separated, because the scriptures say a house divided cannot stand. So once they're put back together and they're dwelling together, then the so-called white man's gonna go down, man.
Right, because in the scripture that 133, it says that oil that even dripped down to Aaron's head, and in Revelations they say the angels, he told the angels, hurt not the oil or the wine, you know.
That's right.
We're symbolic of Israel, you know.
That's right.
So that scripture's talking about us, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, not these crackers, you know.
And that oil is helping bring us back together.
That's right. And I got one more scripture because go ahead, bring it on.
This is Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper.
Yeah, and that craft is witchcraft. Right. God.
And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
Yeah, he's not going to be broken with hands. It's going to be a spiritual war. The day is going to be vaporized. It's going to be just lasers and destruction, man. Because the destruction is that after this destruction is not going to be fought with hand-to-hand combat. It's going to be fought with spiritual power and lasers and everything else in that sort. So we got to look at what's about to happen with the Most High. He's going to destroy this place, obliterate it for the wickedness that these goddamn devils did. Because when they became in power, when these devils got in power, even Alexander the Greek, the world became even wickeder. It got more wickeder. And even if that's the word, it got wicked. And as their family, as their sons became, and their family lines became more intense, they just became like evils multiplied into the earth.
This is Daniel, the 2nd chapter, and it's basically dealing with, because it says that he shall be broken without hands. Really, that was talking about Alexander. I'm sorry, not Alexander the Greek, but it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was talking about Antiochus. If I'm not mistaken. But basically, he shall be broken without hands, and it's gonna be the Lord. It's gonna be the Lord that breaks you crackers down. Let me just go over that real fast just to make sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right.
This is Daniel chapter 2. I'll start from I'll start from 32. It's a little bit up. Yeah, this is Daniel chapter 2, verse 32. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron, part of clay. Verse 34. thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces.
It's Salaki. That was talking about someone that came out of the scripture that he brought out in Daniel 8:25. It was talking about one of the generals that came out. It was talking about one of the people that came out of the 4 generals of Alexander, which was Antiochus. So it says that he caused craft to prosper. And also, when you go into the Apocrypha, it says that once they were set up, wickedness was multiplied in the earth. So when this devil was set up, wickedness was multiplied, and part of that wickedness was the witchcraft that they were ruling with. You finished that? Oh, but that last scripture was talking about him being broken without hands. So that the last empire that's set up to rule upon the world, which is partly weak and partly strong, is going to be taken down by Yahushua.
Alright, and on this one right here, this is Job chapter 20, verse 4. Knowest thou not this is old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment, you know? And that's pretty much what it is, you know. Hey, you so-called crackers out there, your time has come.
That's right.
Hey, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you wake the fuck up or you're going to get harsh judgment, you know.
So